Hello. We are going to a Stormblood extreme. It's one of the Four Lords fights. Hell's Kier extreme. For this run, this is minimum eye level with no echo, and if I remember correctly, we did a whole instance of Prague, and then some people had to leave, and so then we went back in, grabbed some new people, and then continued and got the clear. So this footage is, I think, a little bit of Prague, and then the rest is a clear. Oh yeah. I was trying to record this the other day, and the files got corrupted, and my computer's just gonna explode at some point, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm making so many long videos. It's a whole thing. But anyway, so I don't have like the full Prague kind of thing. I know lately I've been showing the Prague of stuff, but do know that we essentially, the majority of this group was together for a whole instance, progging the fight to learn the mechanics. And so if you have a fresh group, that might be the case too. So here we are picking corners. So we have a DPS in each corner, and then tanks and healers like fill in the rest. And this is going to be for one of the mechanics later that involves these birds down here. So each DPS will take a bird, and then the tank / healer, whoever partner, will help the DPS. So that's primarily all the setup that we need for this. Start the fight. Okay, see, so they put the markers now on the birds to indicate which corner we chose will be the corner that which bird we take. The main tank turns the boss forward. Be careful with any tank leaves. This first one, Screams of the Damned, is going to be the raid wide. Okay, when the boss jumps up, we need to spread to the sides. Okay, figure out where the boss is. She can be anywhere, okay, but wherever she is and is facing, she's gonna do a cleave across the way. So you want to stand on the outside of the stage and spread out from each other. There we go. Oh, okay, so one person died to that because they got hit with the rush across. Route, it seems like it's called. They got a vulnerability thing. Okay, this person. So they got hit with the one thing, and they got this, and then all of our AoE things go off, and so that's how they died. Again, this is minimum eye level, so things are a bit tighter here. Okay, Fleeting Summer is going to target a random person and do a large cone cleave towards them, so make sure to keep an eye out for that and get out of the way. Cremate is the tank buster, so mitigate for that. Okay, Phoenix down. This is going to be a series of different mechanics happening at once, okay? So first off, we got these feather plumes all over the stage, and this is my corner. That's what I chose. And so I will pick up the small feather. As you can see, there's this short one, and then there's this taller one, right? You want to target the short feather. It'll have less HP, and so you'll be able to destroy it. See, there's feathers all over the place. In this configuration, all the intercardinals have the short feather. This can be rotated, and so like this could be the little feather, and then this could be the big one. And so it really just, it depends how they drop, and you would rotate like that depending on whatever your party chooses. And so if it was like here and this was the tall one and the short one's here, then I probably would have rotated this way, and then this group would rotate to this one and this group would rotate to that one, like that, you know what I'm saying? And if that's confusing, then let me just go back. Remember that intercardinals are north, south, west, east. Okay, so it's like this. And then, oh, maybe I'll do this instead, like this. Intercardinals, so these are the cardinals, okay? OP cardinals. Intercardinal, as in like in between the things. See, it's like the diagonals inside. Northwest, northeast, south. See, this is, I struggle with these names, which is why I'm pointing it out, because every time I encounter having to discuss cardinals and intercardinals, I have to check myself. It doesn't come naturally to me. I'm pretty good at directions, but I'm not good at the man-made names of directions. You know what I'm saying? Like, what humans decided to call certain directions is like hard for me to follow for some reason. But if I'm out and about with no map, I can still find my way, just because of some other ability, intuition that I have. And so if you are like that too, then check yourself if you need to remember where north is, where east is, where west is, where south is, and things like that, okay? So it's important here, because if we have tiny feather on the cardinals, then people might say, okay, go to the cardinals. If the tiny feathers are on the intercardinals, or, okay, so if the tiny feathers are on the intercardinals, then it's fine. It's you just go to whatever spot is yours, right? But then if all of a sudden it's not like that and it's on the cardinals, then someone might call out, okay, you know, rotate one, rotate to your cardinal. And so you got to figure out, okay, well, this is the inner cardinal, so I need to rotate my cardinal. Okay, rotate clockwise to my cardinal, which is this one. This is clockwise. And then this way is counterclockwise. Okay, it's a lot of directional stuff. And if it's easy for you and you're like, why is she even saying this? Then good for you. Your brain can figure it out. But for some people, it's very difficult. If you need to use the mini-map, use the mini-map. If you need way markers to help you, use the way markers and just let other people know. Because it's important that, like, everyone understands the position they need to be in, no matter how it is you get there. As long as everyone's on the same page, then that's what you need. Okay, and so for this configuration, like I said, the cardinals are where the little ones are, and so we go to the little one and we attack the little ones. When you attack the little one, or when you basically destroy any of the feathers, this AoE will disappear, because each feather is doing this wing and prayer thingy over here. So ideally you want to get rid of the feathers, and the easiest way to do that is to target the smaller ones. Sometimes there are other fights where it's like, oh, we're all just going to target the middle one and have that be our safe spot. But for this particular mechanic, we need to have it be 4 different areas, because we need these spots for different things. We need to pick up these birds and bring one bird to each clear spot. That's how we're going to handle this mechanic. So here, again, I went to my corner. I'm targeting and destroying this small feather. Soon when this thing is destroyed, this AoE should go away, the yellow one. But then here I've got a purple pink marker on me. Each DPS player is going to get one of these, and you will use this AoE to awaken or rebirth this bird. We got 2 people over here, and so somebody didn't go to the corner they were supposed to, but it's fine. So we awaken I'll get to that over there later. But the cast is called Rekindle. Okay, so by putting my AoE over the bird, I am going to revive the bird. You know, this is the phoenix motif, you know, rebirth and stuff. And so this person over here has their AoE over the bird, so this one's gonna awaken, and this person has this AoE over this person who's gonna awaken. This one's not gonna awaken just yet, and so we will see what happens to that later. But we'll just focus on this one. This one's gonna awaken, and it's gonna tether to me. Whoever awakens the bird is going to have the bird tethered to them. Okay, so there we go. The birds are awake now. And then, here we go, see? This one tethers to me. This one was awakened by this person, and so it's tethered to them. This one was tethered by this person, so it's tethered to them. The other bird is still sleeping on the ground. Alright? And these AoEs from the big feathers are about to explode. So you don't want to be in those AoEs at all. You want to go to your safe spot. See how we made a safe spot for ourselves? Yeah, it looks like nobody was in that corner. So, yeah, I think... Oh, yeah, we had too many people over here. It looks like this person, who's a healer? There was a healer in this corner over here. And so one of the DPS over here was supposed to go over there with them, but they didn't do that. And that's fine. So let's just focus over here. When the bird is tethered, you get primary target. That just means it's tethered to me. And you get burn. Okay? So, ideally healers will help the DPS not die from the burns and stuff if they take too long. If you take too long to kill the bird, then you're gonna get burned for longer, okay? So you gotta focus on destroying your little bird. And then my partner here is also gonna help me with destroying the bird. Also, so like the DPS over here has somebody else helping them destroy their bird, and there'd be a pair over here and a pair over here doing the same thing. So I'm destroying my bird. The bigger feathers exploded. Ideally, no one's standing in it. But when these AoEs explode, they will revive other things, which is why this bird in the back ends up coming back to life. The one that's on the ground right now. Okay, also, I just saw that. While this is happening, there's a tank buster going out from the main boss. Okay, right here. Cremate. Cremate is the tank buster. And so in this corner we got a bit going on, okay? We've got the bird that the DPS needs to take care of, and then we've got the main boss, Suzaku, doing tank buster on the main tank. And then the feathers explode. We were able to destroy our birds, and then the bird that was on the ground here is revived because of the feather that it was given. And then this bird is still tethered here. And so we need to take the birds down. If the birds if the birds survive from the big feather explosion stuff and they make it to this part of the phase, they will get a vulnerability down, so they'll be not as weak, and they'll also get this healing stuff, and so it'll be more difficult to kill them. Okay, and they're still gonna tether to one person, so here. And then looks like the main boss did the raid wide. And if this bird is not taking us, see how long it's taking us to like destroy this bird because it's got all these buffs on it. If the bird doesn't die, then it will do this huge raid wide, ashes to ashes, and it can possibly wipe the party. Okay, if you're not careful. Ashes to ashes, see how much that hits? And then it'll also give us separation, which is this debuff that decreases the amount of like healing you can get or something, or your max healing or something like that. We were able to make it through and it was fine, so it's okay. Like, we had pretty good DPS. Okay, next phase. We've got circles here, similar to the normal version, each person needs to stand in a circle.
I could not bear to lose you again.
And a lot of people refer to this as the DDR thing. So you want to face the direction of whatever arrow your circle is pointing. Okay, so we'll play that out. And there will be orbs that go towards you. And if you're doing it correctly and you have this glowing thing, then you will take a damage up. If you don't do it correctly, then the orb will hit the middle thing, and then this scarlet melody will increase, and this will determine the DPS thingy for the big raid wise. That happens in like every fight. Maybe someone did it wrong, and so we got a little bit more of a stack here. See, I move momentarily, like every time I'm rotating it because I'm on controller. And so you can figure out how to do it. Looks like somebody had a lag spike, and so they weren't able to get all of them. We did pretty well though, 9s and 10s. Oh, 1 6, but that's okay. Okay, so next phase. So let's see, the raid wide didn't hit us too bad. Next phase, there's a hole in the middle, and there's also like no fence. So you can fall over here, or you can fall into this pit. Okay, so you gotta be careful when you're like walking around dodging things. Southern Star, this is gonna be a raid wide. Mesmerizing Melody. This is going to, it's not necessarily a seduce mechanic, but it's similar in that you will be pulled towards the boss. You know how when you're seduced, you're like, you got little hearts here, and you're like walking towards the boss, like in the Ramu fight, if you've done that. We don't necessarily get the debuff or anything, but it will pull us towards the boss because it's this mesmerizing melody, you know, if you care about lore and things like that. And so what that means is you don't want to be so close to the boss that you get pulled towards the boss and fall into this hole. So when it's mesmerizing melody, you want to run to the outer edge of the stage. There we go. Did you see all the people who fell in there? I think they were the 2 people who were new to this party, and everyone else had progged a whole instance already, and so it's understandable if it catches you off guard. Okay. There's another variation of that where it does the opposite, where you want to stand close and then you get pushed away, and so I'll point that out once we get to that. So here, Well of Flame, we've got a line AoE and then we've got circle AoEs. So you want to spread the circle AoEs out and get out of the line AoE. Okay, stack marker. Careful again when you're like moving around, be mindful of the hole in the middle. Phantom Flurry is a blue mage spell if you're looking for that. The boss will kick the main tank repeatedly and then do a half stage cleave all in the front. And so whenever I see this, I make sure I know where the side markers are of the hitbox, and I just make sure I'm behind that. Okay, so I don't get hit with the cleave. There. So the tank is getting kicked right now, gets a physical vulnerability up, and then there's going to be a big cleave here. And the tank can get out of the way of the cleave. Okay, the boss is locked into this position, so the tank has time to like move out of the way. Okay. Okay, she says "Harken to my melody," but it's not actually that mesmerizing melody casting, and so it's okay. You can still stay near the boss for this part. But there's a bit of a transition here, and then we've got this tether, and it will point towards a bird. We've got the circle stuff on the side, similar to the normal version, and it's on both sides, and there was some over here too. And so the stage has different colors on it and different symbols, and they combine with the symbols on the sides over here. And whatever color, this bird is going to travel around either that way or this way, and whatever symbol it touches, it's going to blow up. So this first one is the black symbol, so that means this entire quadrant is going to blow up. And so your goal is to figure out which platform is going to blow up and not stand in it. Okay, so it's going this way, so that means I need to turn my camera and look at the configuration over here. So I saw that the yellow one with birds. I did this poorly. Okay, but as you can see, the birds flying around. Okay, I'll do this better here. So the green one's gonna go off. So I wait near the green one. This is just the way I handle it. I wait by the green one, and then I stand in the green one, and then I just figure out when's the next time there's a green one. Oh, it's the last one. All right, I'm just gonna stand here. I'm just gonna stand here until the yellow one blows up, which is right now, and then I'll move into the yellow spot because it's the closest to me. Okay, does that make sense? The green one goes off, and then I'm like, okay, last one is the green one, and the second to last one is black, but it's like all the way over there. I'm not gonna run over there. But the one right next to me is yellow. So when does that get hit? I'll wait for that one to get hit, and then I'll move over. There are many different ways on how to handle this mechanic. I cannot memorize patterns very well, and so I just do it in real time by watching the mechanics. We'll see it again, so I'll go over it again once we see it again. Mesmerizing Melody, so this is the one where we'll get pulled towards the boss, and so you want to run away. So you get pulled there and you don't fall into the hole. Unfortunately, yeah, they got sucked into that again. That mechanic is where a lot of the wipes happen in this phase. When you're progging it, people like forget what it's called and it sneaks up on you. And so it's understandable, like you'll see like the whole party get sucked into the hole and you're like, wait, what happened? So be aware of that. Close quarter crescendo. For this one, we've got these little orbs tethered to everybody. And so you gotta figure out which one is tethered to you. And then underneath is a little arrow that shows which direction you're gonna get pushed into. And so for me, mine is going this way. And that means wherever I stand, by the time this like thing goes off, I'm going to walk that way. And so if I end up standing here, I'm probably gonna walk off the stage. If I stand here, I'm probably gonna walk into the hole. And so I try to line myself up with the longest distance of the stage that's clear as I can. So when I walk over there, I won't fall off the stage or fall into the hole. When I was progging this, I was getting confused. I was like, oh, is it like I'm gonna walk this way towards the thing? But it is, I think these lines that crisscross everywhere is just to like make it more confusing. But when you figure out whatever yours is, just think of it as I'm walking towards that side of the stage. No matter where I start, I'm just heading in that direction, but not diagonally. It's perpendicular. Okay, so that means whoever's tethered to this one, they need to stand along this edge, and so they walk like this. And if they stand here, they'll walk into the hole, so you don't want that. But they can stand over here and probably walk across this edge like that. All right. So let's see that happen. See the orb slowly move towards you, and then it like absorbs into you. That's what the animation is. And then Pay the Piper is the name of this thingy where you go a certain direction, and the direction is based off what the orb looks like. Okay, so I walked across, and that was fine. Afterwards, we've got the mechanic that we've seen already, the line AoE and the circle AoE, so we're going to spread out for this. Stack marker. Phantom Fury, so this is gonna hit the tank and then do a big cleave in the front, so make sure you're behind the boss. Yeah, so that person got hit and then they got pushed off the stage too. So you gotta be careful with that move. That's like the big move in here. Well, this one's about to be the actual big move. The stage exploding one. Okay, so I look at where the bird is and I figure out which way it's gonna go. Ruthless Refrain. Alright, so when this comes up, don't get too hung up on just looking at the bird. You gotta also still look at the bosses like Caspar and the tails and stuff. Ruthless Refrain is gonna be the one where you need to stand close to the boss because you'll be pushed away. So if I'm standing here, I'm gonna get pushed off the stage. So try to stand close so you don't fall off. And then you can look at which direction the bird's going. Okay, so it's going this way. The first one's gonna get blown up is the black one. So I'm gonna stand here and wait. And then I walk into the black one and I turn my camera to figure out, oh, okay, the black one's gonna get hit again, so I'm gonna run over here. And then I quickly move over because the purple one was next. Okay, well, look at this other rotation here. First one's gonna be the yellow one, so I stand near it because then I'm gonna be like, alright, the first one blows up, the yellow one's gonna blow up, and then I'll go over here and I'll just stay there. Where's the next yellow one? Oh, the next yellow one's the very last one, so I'll just stay here until near the end. And then I gotta figure out when the black one will blow up. Okay, so I'll stay in the yellow one, and I'll wait for the black one to blow up again, and then I'll go into the black quadrant. Yeah. So that's how I handle it. Let's see that one more time. Start here. Right, with this refrain, stand closer to the boss so you don't get knocked off the stage. Figure out what, like wherever I am on the stage, I'm like, which one can I stand, like just stay in first. Okay, the closest one is this black one that was going to explode, so I want to stay closer to it so I can stay in a safe spot as much as possible. I try not to worry about the other side of the stage at all. But then here, because I was like kind of hovering, black one explodes. I'm turning my camera so I can see stuff better. I see that, oh, the black one's going to explode again. I get out of the way. I couldn't go back to the yellow because the yellow was right next to the black explode. So I go to the next one. Let the black one explode and then I go straight back in. You have enough time. And yeah, if you get hit with it, you get knocked into the air and you take a lot of damage and stuff. Southern Star, that one's the red light. Okay. Yellow explodes first, so I stand next to the yellow and then I walk into it. I see that yellow is the last one, so I wait for the black one to get clear and then I walk into it. There are other ways to handle it in that like you can figure out what pattern it is. I saw other people's videos and written guides explaining some sort of like, if it's this pattern like this, then you can like go here, do this and like this, or you can like go here and like one shot. I can't remember all that, and so that's why I focus really hard on just looking at like two colors, and I just see how much I can just stay within those two colors. I try not to run back and forth to the other side of the stage too much, because then I get disoriented with the camera and then I don't know where the bird is, because you know we got the boss here too that's kind of blocking the way. So this one also kind of just takes time to like study the mechanics and figure out how you can figure out the pattern well, because like over here, see there's like two of the green ones together, and so this one is a particular pattern too. Like maybe you want to stand next to it, like you wait. You know, this is difficult for me to explain the other strategies because it just doesn't work for my brain. But like you could wait here and then this one, and then this one's the black one. The black one explodes, and then by the time you're running over there, the 2 greens ones have exploded, and then you just wait for the green one and not even worry about those. You know what I'm saying? And so it depends what you see first. If you see the double greens, then yeah, you can totally just wait for this other stuff to explode. But for me, I'm like, how do I know for sure if this is a black one or a purple one? Because of these like way markers, I could confuse those two. And so yeah, like I said, it's a whole thing. Okay, so this is a purple one, and so if I was standing in this purple one to start, then I'd be like, okay, the yellow one explodes, maybe I'll wait in the green one, and then the purple will explode, and then I can go to the purple. 2 greens explode, and then I can go back, and then it does the rest. You know, it really again depends on how your brain figures it out. So yeah, so waiting, I go into the safe spot, wait for the one next to me to blow up again, and then I go into the safe spot. Oh, yeah, that bird comes from like underneath the boss. Okay, that animation. Yeah, it's not here. When it's flying around, that makes sense. The little things. Anyway, we got Phantom Fury again, and so this will hit the main tank, and everyone needs to be behind the boss. And main tank can move off to the side too. Raid wipe. Incandescent interlude. So we got towers here. Okay, at some point we'll need at least 1 person in each tower, but we have a few things going on. Ruthless Refrain. This is the one you need to stand near the boss so you don't get knocked backwards. This is all like intentional design for prog sake to like wipe people, because literally if you're not paying attention to this and you go stand in the tower, you're gonna get punted off the stage. So, and then we've got AoEs to deal with. And so let's take a look over here. This person was in position to take a tower, but see, they got punted off the stage because they didn't catch the Ruthless Refrain thing. So, while that's happening, we got 4 people with the AoEs that will need to spread out. And we are going to get knocked backwards, right? And so, ideally, we'll need at least somebody going into the tower. So you want to get knocked backwards into the tower. And here, this person got a little close and then clipped me with their AoE. It was fine though. Like, I survived it, but yeah. If we don't have a tower soaked, then we'll get damage downs. And it's not the end of the world, but we can also die to this badly if too many people are stacked together with the AoE and taking the towers. And so ideally the strategy is whatever corner you already pre-assigned, like this is a strategy that we used in the party. We were trying to work it out. The bird mechanic we did up here, where we assigned the corners and stuff, and then we were doing the corner stuff like this during this bird phase. Ideally, that's what we would do in this section. And so, you know, this is north, this is south, this is west, this is east. And so, in my quadrant, me and my partner are going to pair up. And so here, each DPS is gonna have a partner, a support partner, either a tank or healer in this quadrant, right? Like something we already decided. This AoE thing is going to spawn on either all DPS or all tanks and healers. And so whatever the configuration is, if the tanks and healers get the circle AoE, then they will stand on the intracardinal and get knocked back into this safe spot. And then the person without the partner that doesn't have it, so in this case it'll be DPS, will stand on the cardinal and I'll get knocked back into the tower. Okay, so because it's broken up by roles here, we're able to do that. If it was the reverse, if it was all DPS have the AoEs instead, DPS would stand on the intracardinals and get knocked back into the intracardinals. So the clear sides, okay, the clear areas, and then the tanks and healers would not have the AoE, and so they would stand on the cardinals and get knocked back into the towers. If hearing cardinal and intracardinal is confusing, then just know that we'll hang out with our partner in the quadrant. People with the AoE partner is going to go into the clear area. The partner without anything is going to go soak the tower because they won't take extra damage because they don't have the AoE. Okay? And if all that is done well, every person's doing their thing well, then we will have everybody soaking towers. See, we had 3 towers soaked, and the one person over here ended up dying because of the ruthless refrain thing. They rode the knockback off the stage, so that's why we weren't able to soak one of the towers. And then here my partner positioned themselves a bit closer so that they could also get into the tower, and it's because they didn't see me. They wrote that in the chat, so that's why I knew that it was because they didn't see me there. I'm small, I'm also a ghost, it's understandable. But yeah, so that's how that works. Okay, hearken to the melody. So we have the bird thing again. It's going to go around the stage, but now the bird's gonna go around the stage in whatever direction, but then we have a bunch of mechanics to handle. Okay, so it's gonna get very busy. Line AoE, a bunch of circle AoEs to dodge, so spread out from each other. Figure out where the bird is going. It's rotating clockwise. Okay, so I gotta see the thing. Black one's gonna go first. I'm already on this side though, so I'm gonna wait for this green to blow up, and then I'm gonna quickly move over because then the yellow one's gonna blow up. Oh no, I went over there, never mind. But you can still do what I said earlier. You need to go over there. You could wait here for the green to blow up and then go into the yellow, but it seemed like I had enough time, so I moved over. See, I told you this isn't scripted. I just say whatever I see. Okay, so now over on this side, we've got yellow first, okay, but we also have these orb situations, and so that means you have to position yourself so when you walk across the stage, you'll be in a safe spot. So for me, I was fumbling with this a little. I was getting confused because I was like, okay, maybe if I go here and then I go over there, but then it cast already, and so I end up getting into the hole. Okay, so that's unfortunate. But here, see, it's yellow and then purple, and I think I was trying to angle myself so that I would, one, just walk over here, but then I was like, which color is gonna hit? I turned my camera a little, and I was like, well, maybe I can just stay in the purple. But then I was like, wait, the yellow is gonna explode first, so maybe I'll go all the way over here to the green. But then I didn't make it, and I was I was here, the thing popped, the Pay the Piper popped, so I didn't make it onto this side to go there. Does that make sense? Okay, my intention was to run over to the green side because yellow was gonna hit first, and so I was hoping that by the time I have to walk, auto walk, I would make it, the yellow would explode, and then I'll make it to the yellow spot safely. But I did not catch that fast enough, and therefore I walked into the pit. See, this person did it right though. SM. See SM over here. They were able to position themselves so they did not fall into the hole. Ah, dang it. See what I'm saying? This stuff keeps crashing. Dang it. Hang on. I'll get it back. I'll get it back. What was the date on this? This one? Oh, dang. It's just one of those things where I have to control alt delete again. Hang on. Hang on. I got this. I'll find it. Okay, like this. Is this one? Where were we? Just a moment, please. Okay, it's here. Also, let me write down the timestamp to make it easier for myself later. Okay. Here we go. Okay, let me take a sip of hot chocolate, okay? Okay, let's go. So, we were looking at SM, the main tank, because they did it correctly. Yeah, here you could look at the debuff timer to figure out how long you have. I just wasn't looking at that. But like I said, SM right here. They were able to position themselves so that they did not fall into the hole, and then the first one blows up, and they have enough time to wait for it to blow up, and then they slowly walk over. See, there we go, like right before I fell. You can see that they made it over to the yellow part. Right here. See, they were able to make it through, and they're not gonna fall off the stage because this thing doesn't last that long. So they were fine. So that one's tricky. I think that will just take practice really to figure out the timing because it happened so fast. Okay, and same thing here. Just regular stuff. Figure out which one's going to explode. Stand next to it, ideally. And then go into the one that just exploded. Oh, Phantom Flurry? Flurry? Okay, remember to stay in the back. And then here, I'm positioning myself. The yellow's going to explode first. And then I go into the yellow one to avoid the other ones. And then I panned my camera to see if there was any other ones. Raid wipe. Mesmerizing melody. Go away from the boss because it'll pull you forward. Oh, it looks like you can use arm's length too, if you can catch it fast enough. Arm's length or sure cast for your knockback immunity. Technically, it's not just a knockback, it's a pulling mechanic too, but anyway. Okay, line AoE, circle AoEs, just spread those out. Stack marker. Careful of the hole. Phantom Flurry, stand behind the boss. So take care of the tank that's getting hit with that because it hits hard and they have physical vulnerability up and it can die to them, right? Raid wipe? Oh, my stomach is rumbling. We're almost done, then I'll get a snack. Ruthless refrain. This is the knockback, and so stand closer to the boss. Grade wide. Phantom Flurry, so stand behind the boss. Take care of the tank because they're getting hit with a bunch of stuff, and make sure you're running to the back. Okay. And then it looks like things would just repeat after that until you hit an enrage. Yeah, I think the most tricky thing if you're progging this is the birds at the beginning. Getting people coordinated to get the 4 birds correctly positioned and stuff can be difficult because if one of the birds explodes, there's a potential to wipe the party. If 2 birds are there and they explode, they'll likely wipe. So there's that, and then the whole like stage quadrant exploding is a big deal. And then the stage exploding plus those knockback or pooling mechanics is a big deal. And so just be aware of that and practice using your knockback prevention if you're hesitant on positioning for those knockback things. So, okay, bye.